So this is the second part of cardigan making, and we're going to begin by weaving in a lot of these tails that we didn't already work in. This part is a little bit of a chore, but not a huge deal. The hardest part of working with this hobby cotton, this is hobby 88 cotton, I believe, and it's nice and comes in all these beautiful colors, but it's a little bit splitty, and the hardest part of working with it was threading it onto a tapestry needle to do this weaving in. So just make sure that you're weaving into the back of the work. And if you're not sure which is the back side of the work, you can tell by looking at that edge of single crochets you just worked all around it. You should be able to see that one side looks a little bit prettier. It looks more like the outside. And if that wasn't especially clear, when you're crocheting from the right side of the work, that V at the top of your stitches leans just a little bit towards you, so kind of faces the right side of the work a little bit more. So you can see so I'm working into the back side right now. You can see that you don't see that V on the top of the stitches on the edge of the work. you're ever having trouble with this part, like pulling that tapestry needle through while you're weaving in, they make those little rubber fingertip grippers with the little bumps on them for like collating papers and stuff. Those are amazing for that job. Okay, so I accidentally pulled out some of the last single crochets I made on that final edge, so I'm just gonna finish those 11 single crochets. And then chain 1, and then I pull that yarn through. And then this is where I'm going to make my invisible join, so putting that on a tapestry needle. Since I'm at the corner of the work, I don't have to do a slip stitch. I'm just going to skip that first stitch, go into the next stitch under the V, sort of on the top of the next stitch, pull it through, and then insert the needle back through that chain, and then through a stitch behind it on the back of the work and snug it down, and then weave in this yarn tail. And then I'll clip that last tail and we'll move on to the next step. So this is the base of the cardigan. You can see the armholes. That center part is the back of the cardigan. So I'm going to do a little bit of trim just around the edge of the cardigan in a contrasting color. So we're going to call this round 19. We finished round 18 when we did that single crochet around the whole edge. And we're going to put a slip stitch or a slip knot on our hook, insert it into one corner, the top right corner, and into the back loop, and then working into the back loops only. We're just gonna single crochet around the top of the cardigan. If you are a lefty, I think you'd be starting at the top left corner and then working clockwise. The righties are starting at the top right corner, working counterclockwise. And we're working in the back loops only of all of these stitches. And that first stitch that you make, that standing single crochet, you're making into that chain right before your invisible join. So here we go, we're single crocheting all the way across that top edge, which should be about 27 stitches, I believe, because we had 25 stitches and 2 chains. So also work into the back loop of that chain, and then we're gonna crochet and then back loops along the edge there in the stitches we made into the edge of the rows. And altogether, I believe it's 39 single crochets we're making. And that brings us around, and the last one will be placed into the chain at the corner before we get to the bottom of the cardigan. Okay, so now we're working into the stitches that we made along the bottom of the cardigan, and we're still working in back loops, and this time we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to do 4 single crochets and then a decrease and then 4 more single crochets. So that's our pattern along the bottom of the cardigan. And we're doing that 3 times. So if you're counting, we had 29 crochets along the bottom of the cardigan, or single crochets, and we will be going down to 27. Did I do that math right? Anyway, at the end of this, we'll have 27. And then we'll make a single crochet into the chain at the corner, and then we'll single crochet into all those single crochets along that second edge of the cardigan, which will take us back up to where we started in this contrast color. And then we're going to invisible join to that first that standing single crochet we made in this color. So you can break the yarn, pull it through, put the tail, the yarn tail on a tapestry needle. In the video, I had worked over that first yarn tail. That's why I was able to just trim it there. Skip the first stitch, insert the tapestry needle in the second, then go back through and through a stitch behind it, pull it snug. We've got our invisible join, and then you can weave in this yarn tail. And you finished the trim. You can trim that close. Great. So the next step is going to be making the sleeves for our cardigan. We'll go back to the regular cardigan color. The sleeves are both made the same way. So the first thing is you're going to put a slip stitch on your hook to do a standing single crochet. Insert your hook in one of the corners around that opening, around the sleeve hole. And then you're going to make 15 single crochets all the way around that opening. So space them as you want. Try to get them relatively evenly spaced. If you can, you could do what I'm doing here and work over that starting yarn tail to minimize the amount of weaving in you're going to have to do. It's a little awkward in this first round, but it's not too hard, really. Okay, so we made it back around, In round 2, we're going to single crochet 15 again, just working into each stitch of round 1. I don't know if I mentioned this, but you just want to make sure that when you join that first standing single crochet, that you're joining with the outside, the right side of the work facing you. Hopefully that was obvious. Okay, so we're wrapping up round 2. In round 3, we're going to do some decreases. So we will start with an invisible decrease and then do 3 single crochets, and we'll repeat that pattern 3 times. And that'll bring us to 12 stitches by the end of round 3. Sorry, I'm kind of moving out of shot here. Okay, so our last decrease, and then 3 more single crochet. All right, and then round 4, we're going to single crochet 12. And then round 5, we're going to switch back to that trim color. Probably would have been smart to use a more contrasting color so it was easier to see in the video. Okay, and then working in the back loops only, we're going to single crochet 12. And again, if you can, it might be a good idea to work over these yarn tails so you don't have to do as much weaving in. Be a little bit bulky, so if you don't like how it's feeling or looking, you can choose to weave in instead. Okay. We'll break the yarn and then do a slip stitch and invisible join. I guess I already did my slip stitch. I wasn't paying attention. Or I just didn't do one. Can't remember. I didn't do one. Okay, so the reason I'm pulling it out right here is that I broke the yarn and pulled it through, but I wanted to do a nice invisible join. So I'm going to redo that last single crochet because I just unpulled that last crochet. And then I'm going to slip stitch in the first single crochet in this color, and then I'll pull the yarn through. And then I'm going to do just a regular invisible join. So I skip the next stitch, insert the needle through the stitch after that, bring it back through the slip stitch that I made. And then I'm gonna take that back through to the inside of the cardigan and flip the cardigan kind of inside out so I can do whatever weaving in I need to do inside the cardigan. And trim all my tails. Great. You can flip it back out, see what it looks like. Cute little sleeve. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we'll go back to our regular cardigan color, make a slip knot, put it on the hook, do a standing single crochet in one corner. The pattern, I don't call it a standing single crochet, I just say join and single crochet 15. But I think that's what that's called. So we're doing 15 single crochets pretty much evenly spaced around that opening. Struggling. Okay. So that was 15 single crochets. I'm back around to where I started. In the next round, I'm going to do 15 single crochets again, one into every stitch of round one. I'm still working over that first yarn tail, so if it looks a little weird right now, that's what's happening. Also kind of going off screen, so sorry about that. Okay, so the next round is a decrease round, and the decrease pattern is we're gonna invisible decrease and then single crochet 3. Invisible decrease or decrease, whatever you prefer. Single crochet 3. Invisible decrease, single crochet 3, and that's 12 stitches. In round 4, we're just going to single crochet 12 stitches. And then we'll break the yarn. We're going to grab our trim color again. And then working in the back loops only, we're going to single crochet 12 around. And again, if you're able to, I'd recommend working over those yarn tails just to spare yourself a little bit of weaving in. Yay, I'm way off camera right now. Great. Now after that last single crochet, slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made in this trim color. Okay, then break the yarn. Pull it through. Put it on a tapestry needle and do your invisible join. So skip that first stitch after the slip stitch, insert it under the next stitch, come back through the slip stitch. And then you're going to flip that sleeve inside out and weave in any tails that are yet to be dealt with. Did a better job of working over yarn tails this time around, so I I have more that I can just trim off right now. Okay, and I just have this one last tail to weave in. Okay. So, all that's left to do for the cardigan is to make and attach the pockets. It's already looking very cute. We'll go back to our regular cardigan color. We'll start with the foundation chain. That's a magic ring. That's not what we're starting with. There we go. That's a slip knot. We're going to chain 4. And we're going to work in the bumps on the back of the chain and start in the second chain and single crochet 3. Going to turn and chain 1. Going to single crochet 3. Turn and chain 1. So now we're on round 3. Single crochet 3. The end of row 3, we don't need to turn the work. Instead, we're going to do a round. So we'll chain 1 and then we'll rotate the work and single crochet 3 along the edges of the rows. Chain 1, rotate the work. Single crochet 3 along the top side of that foundation chain. Chain 1, rotate the work, and single crochet 3 along the other edge of the rows. Try that again. And chain 1, break the yarn, pull that chain 1 through, oh actually, yep, pull the chain 1 through, put that on a tapestry needle. A little invisible join. So I worked over that starting tail, so I'm just going to trim it. You may need to weave that in. Then I'm going to place that on my cardigan where I want it. And I'm just going to use that ending tail to sew it to the cardigan. I'm only going to sew around the sides and the bottom so that it can be a functional pocket. So we'll leave an opening at the top. way I like to sew stuff like this on is to insert the needle through the stitch as I would a crochet hook, so the stitches fall behind those V's at the top of the crochet stitch and are a little less visible. I don't know if you can see that real well in this video or not. Now, I am going to weave in the yarn tail on the back of the work. For some reason I'm struggling with that. That through one more time, and then I can trim it, and I have a functional pocket. Really struggling with this yarn tail for some reason, but there we go. Great. Okay, so one pocket done. You can see things can go in there, which is very satisfying. We're going to do that exact same thing one more time for the other side. You can see I cut a little scrap of fabric and put it in one of Barb's pockets, like she has a little hanky. And now we're just going to slip the cardigan on Barb so you can see how it fits. Be careful if you used wire. You're trying not to push that wire through the arm while you're dressing Barb. And see how cozy she looks now. Yay, Barb's dressed and looking very cute.